There we go.
There it is.
Okay, welcome back to Geekfecta, the podcast that brings a few geeks' opinions on the world. We are breaking down all of geekdom one podcast at a time. Tonight we are talking about the chest poppers, face huggers, bipedal, quadrupedal, hideous, and supermodel-esque aliens in our alien invasion episode. Our categories, as always, are TV and movie, books and comics, and video/board games. With me, as usual, are the guys with every geek vice known to man, Kip and Morph. How's it going, guys?
Doing splendidly.
Doing pretty good. I didn't realize I had every geek vice known to man, so I'm actually going to take that one and run with it.
Yeah, might as well.
I have a lot of vices. And did he freeze up on us already?
He froze.
Wake up. Wake
I don't
up.
think he would be appreciative of the way his picture froze either.
No, that would be great. I'm going to guess we're having to edit this part out. Or just leave it in. Like,
What the heck?
Come on, Bill. Come on, Bill. Make it back.
Well, it's so cold up there that the internet froze.
Oh, and what's even funnier is if I click on his picture, it's your picture frozen.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe he has both of our pictures frozen and he's just talking away.
Stop! Don't keep going! Uh-oh.
This is a bummer. Did he send you a message?
Not yet. I've closed off of the fucking thing. I'm going back to my Google Plus page. Oh,
Uh-oh,
wait.
he's back.
He came back. Bueller? How about now, Bill?
There you go. No, mine froze up.
Yeah, we noticed.
How
Yeah.
far did it get?
Far enough for me to make a comment about my about me having all the geek vices known to man.
Oh, I heard that. Well, let's move on to. So John won't be joining us this week. He is skipping on us, so we can talk about him as we do this and how lame he is. But what makes up our notion of what a good alien invasion should be, and what makes our worst lists of close encounters of a turd kind? What do we got going on for our alien invasion, guys? What do we think the definition should be?
For me, it was one species trying to take over the planet of another species.
Okay.
Earth doesn't have to be involved either way. Just as long as it's one planet to another.
Right, and
Okay.
I will agree with that stint. The key component there is take over another or destroy another. Like just having a conflict involving those two kinds does not constitute an invasion. It's literally trying to take over the planet of the other race.
I will say all of mine fit into that, except maybe one, and that's kind of a lone straggler showing up and kind of getting housed by the people here. So other than that, I think mine fits into yours just the same. We have something where there's a specific races of aliens,
Right.
either different worlds to worlds, not Star Wars or stuff where you have governments fighting each other and you have humans on both sides and aliens on both sides. That's more of a giant world living together.
Yes. Agreed.
What topic do we want to start out with tonight, gentlemen?
Well, let's see here.
What's
My
your
list-
weakest category?
My weakest category is all of it. No, print. Print will always be my weakest category because, I can't read.
Okay, well, we can start there. I hope you didn't write anything down because you'll be lost.
It's all up here. It's all in the vault.
He doesn't write anything down anyway. Don't you hear him on our show?
Well, I don't know, maybe.
I have to take notes for him.
Right.
So what do you got there? What do you got for print?
Me? I have
Anyone.
the best one is Ender's Game.
Ooh. I have your copy of Ender's Game here sitting on my bookshelf.
Yes, you do. You should read that.
Yeah, I do.
Not
I
only
should
is it
read
my
that.
best alien invasion book, it is my favorite book of all time. And written by Orson Scott Card a million years ago, but it still rings true today. I didn't like the movie as much as I liked the book, but the book is fantastic. It follows Ender Wiggin, who is a third in a Earth where you're only allowed to have 2 children. He was allowed to be born because his siblings had such great potential that they did not live up to it. They thought, well, maybe third time's a charm. And they whisk him away to teach him how to become a military leader to defend the Earth from this alien race of insects, I'm guessing is what they are. And I won't give the thing away, or can I? What the hell? I'll give it away.
When
It
was
was
the
written a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a long time ago. I'm not giving anything away except for maybe the morph. But
Yeah, I haven't read it.
they train. You know, the book really deals with what this poor kid goes through, how he has to be an adult the whole time. And not only an adult, he has to be a leader. And, you know, the 3 of us can contest being an adult sucks, and especially when you're 10 years old. And, you know, it starts out where they're learning basic military strategy, and then it works into kind of these war games that they think are video simulations to where he's actually fighting and doesn't realize it. And of course he annihilates the enemy and what he thinks is his final test before he graduates, when it actually is the final battle of the entire war. And I classified it as alien invasion basically because we went there and kicked their ass when it just didn't seem like they were really going to do anything.
Right.
So we just went over there and eliminated them. So the book is much better than the description I gave it, but it's just a really good human story, and it just kind of makes you think about how we can manipulate people to do exactly what you want them to do without them even realizing they're doing it. And that is Ender Wiggins' story all the way through the book. He is pretty much in control without being in any kind of control throughout the entire book, and it's pretty fascinating.
It's definitely a good book, for sure. I went with The Outpost by Mike Resnick. Mike Resnick writes, has created a universe of... his writing is a lot like Firefly is. It's a space, but it seems more Western almost. You know, you have guys that are larger than life. You have people drawing guns on each other. There's no, there's a central government, but when you get way out on the rim, like it's whatever kind of whoever decides they're the law is the law, And The Outpost is actually about a bunch of characters that are at this bar at the.
Oh no, did he lock up again?
Oh no. That sucks.
Well, Kat, let's just drink since the internet is too cold in Minnesota to work. You want some whiskey, Nick?
I think Nick wants some whiskey.
Nick wants some whiskey. Some wiki. I'll drink to that.
Cheers.
Hey, he's back.
He's back. In 3, 2, 1. There he is.
I hope this is not an all-night thing. How far did I get on that one?
I don't remember.
Outpost by Mike Resnick.
And you were
Yes.
talking about the people who are out on the fringes who make their own rules.
Yep. So there's this bar way out on the edge of the galaxy that this is taking place in, and all these legendary characters kind of hang out there or go there. And so some of them in the bar are aliens, but most of them are humans. And what they're doing is they're going out there and they're talking about kind of their past exploits. But every time one of them comes in, they're talking about how the Navy's battling this alien race that's trying to come in and take over this galaxy. And so they keep coming in. Oh, they're getting closer. Oh, they're getting closer. And they're telling their amazing stories that they've had. Well, then all of a sudden they realize, like, man, this is going to be pretty close. Well, we should probably leave and go away. But the guy running the bar, they all like. And so they're like, man, if the aliens come here, they're going to wipe out this bar. So they go out and all kind of fight them in different ways because they all have their own skill sets. There's a gambler. There's a guy that's, this bounty hunter that's been around forever. There's a chick that's like the best prostitute in the world, basically, and goes in and like sets up a whorehouse within this like army base that they have, and like basically takes them from the female side of it, and then after it's all over, they all go back to the bar and kind of share their stories about how they dealt with these aliens. So
that part really does sound like Firefly.
It is. Like, Resnick's been writing for a long time, and it really is Firefly-esque. So
Very cool. I wrote it down. I'll check it out.
any book by Mike Resnick is really good. The original one is called Santiago. Like, that's the original one in all this world that he created. But the Outpost was really good. So,
Sweet.
what do you got, Morph?
I got nothing.
Oh,
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Right.
So,
The wrong guy was freezing up, I tell you.
Right.
What I got is for my. I will have to agree with Kip on this one. This is probably, this is my weakest section, both for good and bad, because as I was going through my list of books that I've read, most of them consisting of 22 pages and a lot of pictures, though I don't really have a whole lot of alien invasion type stories that I've read. But the one that I do have that stuck with me and is really considered to be one of the best conflicts within the comic books, and that is the Skull-Kree War, or the Kree-Skrull War, whichever way you want to put it.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah, exactly. This took place back in early 70s is actually when this came out, 71 to 72, and it was written by Roy Thomas, and it run from Avengers 89 through 97, so it actually ran for quite a few books, and it was basically this big, huge battle between two different races, or two different worlds, the Kree and the Skrulls. And it was, these two groups hated each other. There was conflict that had been brewing for centuries and centuries, and they just decided they each wanted to wipe each other out, and the Avengers got in the middle of it, and it was a great story. It was a lot of fun. It's actually considered by a lot of critics to be the highlight of that era of comics. And it actually is continued. It's one of the few kind of big events that happened in comic books that has stuck around for as long as I can remember. Like this is still referenced in other books and other titles. Like even now, when there's been reboot after reboot, the Kree-Skrull War, the Kree-Skrull War, if I could ever get that right, has basically just always been there. So that's why it's one of my favorites. And I didn't get to read it originally since I wasn't born in 1971, but I do own the trade of this collection, and I go back and reread it quite often.
Kip, you were like 10 in 1971. Did you read it?
I was 4. Thank you very much.
Oh, sorry, 4.
That's almost 10.
Halfway there, almost.
Yeah. In Minnesota math, maybe.
Yeah, in Minnesota math, it's almost there. We lose fingers to the cold, so our 10 doesn't look the same as your 10. So my worst book. This is gonna sound horrible because I just pumped up Mike Resnick. My worst is also by Mike Resnick, which is Chronicles of a Distant World. It's a 3-book thing, and it really is just a retelling of like Europeans colonizing Africa. Resnick's a huge Africa fan. Like, he's been there a bunch of times. He wrote a book called Kirinyaga, which got like just tons of awards. But these are just like very heavy-handed. Like, I mean, it's not like it's even a subtle like, hey, this is kind of a homage or an allusion to it. It's flat out, look, this is what happened in Africa type stuff. Humans come in, kind of destroy this alien race and use them as slaves and all this stuff, and it was like, okay, beat me over the head with this. So I love his stuff. That one was more of his agenda than it was his writing, in my opinion. So it wasn't my favorite.
All right, Morph, what do you got?
But no big rant.
So my worst is actually fairly recent. It took place back in 2008, and it is another comic book series. And the premise, I think the reason why this is the one that I hate the most is because you ever watch a TV show or read a series of books that, you know, you're reading along, the premise is just spot on, it is awesome, you're right in, you're bought in, you're reading along, the story is told exactly how you want it, and then they get to the end and it's like they didn't write an ending for it, so they just came up with the quickest way to end it to move on to the next thing. That's what they did with this, and it's Secret Invasion by Brian Michael Bendis. This, first of all, this is in the prime of Marvel's event run, so they had event after event after event with hundreds of tie-ins. It was hard to keep track of. But this storyline was so awesome. It basically, those scrolls that I talked about in my favorite are back. These are shape-shifting aliens, and they have infiltrated Earth. They have come in and eliminated certain superheroes and basically mimicked their powers and what they look like, and nobody knew it. So you didn't know who was a good guy and who was a bad guy, and it was awesome. It was really well done up to the point where they needed to end it. The invasion happens, the Skrulls come in, they start wiping us out, heroes start dropping left and right, they're taking these guys down, and you're like, wow, what's going to happen? This is great. And then the big bad guy for the Skrulls shows up, and who comes to save the day but Norman Osborn. Not as a Green Goblin, but as a guy who just broke out of jail, out of the psychiatric institute. And he comes in, and he doesn't use his, intellect or his super strength or even a pumpkin bomb. No, he just pulls out a gun, shoots the Skrull in the head, and then magically everything is okay, and Norman Osborn is then the hero. And he gets put in charge of S.H.I.E.L.D. And it is the worst fucking ending of such a good build-up that it's just... I just wish they would have actually wrote the ending instead of just saying, what do we do? What do we do? And throw something on a piece of paper. It was awful.
That's never good. Whenever that happens, you feel like that horrible ending just makes the rest of it just awful.
Well,
and you're like, really? That's it? Everything I read was for that?
Yeah, and I would, like, I want to go back and reread this because it's that good. But whenever I go reread it, I have to stop on the 7th of 8 issues in the series, because if I read the 8th one, then I just get angry again. So I stop at 7 where there's actually no ending, and the invasion just comes in and wipes out. So in my head, basically, Norman Osborn never wins.
Scroll win.
Skrulls win. They wipe out everything, and the invasion's complete, because that's the way the issue 7 ends. So there you go.
I'll have to have my daughter write an 8th issue for you.
There you go.
In comics. It'll probably be Thor and Wonder Woman winning it for it, but at least it'll be something better than Norman Osborn.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
All these people on Earth and nobody thought to pull a gun.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
You have all these superheroes. You have the intelligence of Reed Richards and Iron Man trying to figure out how to identify these Skrulls, and they don't think of just shooting them in the head with a gun.
Well, and the other side of that is they're shapeshifters. Who's to say their brain and stuff is, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, my brain's in my butt. What'd you
it's a flesh wound.
Right. Or a little hole opens up, bullet goes through, hole closes. So. I don't know.
Yeah, it was bad. So what do you got over there, Kip?
Okay, I'm changing the rules a little bit because I didn't have a worst book. So I actually created an honorable mention. and it's called The Fifth Wave by Rick Yancey. It can be considered a worst because it's a young adult, but I don't care. I read it anyway.
What's the name of it?
The Fifth Wave.
Okay.
And it takes place during the fourth wave of an alien invasion of Earth. And you follow the character Cassie Sullivan, who's a 16-year-old girl. And at the beginning of the book, she's living out in the woods in a tent, hiding from everything. And basically, the waves are basically the aliens drop like this gigantic EMP, knock out all electrical power on the planet. Basically, send us to the Dark Ages. Second one was they dropped these giant rods into the fault lines on Earth, creating earthquakes and huge, gigantic tsunamis wiping out all the coastal cities. The third wave is they basically dropped germ warfare on us and wiped out like 90% of the population with this virus. And then the fourth wave is they capture a lot of people and basically invasion of the body snatchers kind of thing to them. And so you don't know who to trust. You don't know if they're an alien or an actual human. It was a really good book. So if it's a bad book, I only get about 20 pages in, I put it away, and then I don't remember it. So I came up with an honorable mention. Sorry, guys, I had to change the rules.
That's okay. That is okay.
How do you guys feel about moving on to the TV movie category?
Say that again. Which one do you want to move? You want to move to TVs and movies?
TV and movies?
I can do that. I can do that. That's definitely my strongest category.
You go ahead.
Lead us off.
Well, then I will start us off. I actually have two for my good, because one of them I'm not sure if you can really classify it as an alien invasion. But it's a TV show that's kind of, I mean, it's definitely sci-fi. It definitely deals with aliens, and it is X-Files. I don't know if it could really be classified as alien invasion, because I'm really not sure if the end result was ever really an invasion. But I really liked it, and I thought it kind of fit in this category, so I threw that in there. But the other one that I have here for my favorite is it's a TV series, not the movie. I have to clarify that now, but is Stargate SG-1. That is an alien invasion, because you do have aliens that are trying to invade Earth, and they want to take over not just Earth, but every planet. And, you know, they're brain-sucking leeches that can't live outside of a host body. So that's always really fun. I enjoy that too. So, and any TV show that has MacGyver as the lead character wins in my book.
Oh, so basically that and MacGyver.
Yeah.
Got it.
All right.
So who's next?
I'll go. This is a broad category, especially movies and TV. Holy cow, there's a lot out there. And I looked at, everything from Avengers to Independence Day, and I decided to go the comedy route, and I went with Evolution from 2001. It stars David Duchovny.
Oh, I have seen that one.
I don't think I have.
Orlando Jones, got Julianne Moore.
Clifford Franklin. Yes, I've seen that one. That one is bad. I forgot about that movie.
It's one of those movies that's so bad, it's good.
Yeah.
Anytime it's on, I will watch it. But I'm
that's
easily
great.
entertained, so that there's that.
You're going to have to fill me in because I have no clue what this is.
Okay, so basically, David Duchovny and Orlando Jones are professors at a college in California. And meteor hits, and it creates its own atmosphere in the crater that it makes, and whatever was on this meteor starts to evolve at a very rapid pace and tries to take over the Earth by just pure evolutionary power. And it's got Sean William Scott, who's a guy who's trying to become a fireman, but he's so dumb he can't even pass the first wave of the fireman test. And basically, it is just a series of gags about. They start out as like little mosquito type of things, and one of them goes inside Orlando Jones's leg, and this is how funny how the comedy is, third grade, and that's why I liked it. But he's the thing is like in his leg, and they're like, we're gonna have to take the leg, and he's like, don't take the leg, and it's going. Now it's going near his crotch. Take the leg. And then it finally comes up, and it ends up coming out his rear end. And when he's all done, he's like, man, you really took it like a man and all this. And he's like, I would really like some ice cream. And like, great, what flavor? Doesn't matter. It's for my ass. So it's just shit like that in that movie just cracked me up. It's just one of those movies that it's just sight gag and dumb jokes through the entire movie, but I enjoyed the hell out of it.
Nice. I went serious, and I went with two movies because they are connected, obviously. I went with Alien and Aliens. Mainly because Alien sets everything up, right?
Yes.
But the aliens went to a colony basically and wiped it out. And then the Marines come in, and you get the we can take care of this. We're badass Marines, and draw their guns, and then things start splatting and burning them, and they're like, oh, game over, man, game over. So, for me, those are, Geiger's Aliens are amazing. The direction is great. The story's Beowulf, but we'll forgive it that it's not original. Yeah. But it's amazing. To this day, I remember seeing Aliens for the first time and just being like, oh my god, this is amazing. These guys are killing these things, but they're exploding and getting all over them, and then you only get a few survivors. It's that we almost lost everybody, and then it continued on into some kind of crap. But we'll forget about those extra. And just think of the original two. So,
yeah.
Three's okay. 4 gets really crazy. The Alien vs. Predator stuff, meh.
That was bad.
I didn't mind Prometheus. I know a lot of people didn't like it, but I didn't mind it.
I didn't mind it at all either.
So, but that's mine. And if you watch Prometheus, then it's definitely an alien invasion, right? They sent us out, and then they sent these things out to basically destroy us. So,
Yeah, instead of coming to our world and killing us, it's like we'll just entice you to come here.
Right. So I mean, those are two of my favorite like alien human conflict movies ever. So, which will take me to my worst movie ever, and this may not just be the worst alien invasion movie. It might be the worst movie of all time, in my opinion. It not only reeks of just being a huge flaming turd, but I think it basically proves Scientology is crap.
Oh, I know where you're going.
Battlefield Earth. Anyone who wrote that and turned it into a movie, I mean, the book may be good. I've never read it.
Me neither.
That movie is awful.
You want to know what's funny?
Dreads. It made Forrest Whitaker bad.
I actually think that might be on all three of our worst.
No way.
I know it's on mine.
I had two that I thought were equally as bad, so I'll use the other one. But
I've got another one too, but that's because Battlefield Earth is that bad. I expected other people to have that one on there. That's how bad that movie is.
It is so bad that it makes you feel sorry for Travolta.
I don't feel sorry for that guy. It's his fault.
I suppose
his
he funded it, didn't he?
Him and the guy who decided, hey, let's tilt the camera at a 10-degree angle for the whole movie.
Right. Right. Yeah. It's just so bad.
Yeah.
Like it's just awful. And
It's
now
made
I know.
me pour another glass of whiskey. That's how bad it was.
You know my comment about it proving that Scientology sucks. I know they'll come after me now, but whatever. But I mean, this is pure evil. This is just a bad movie.
Yeah.
And you look at the cast and you go, I should like this movie. It's got a great cast.
Yeah.
But wow.
Well, the hype machine on that thing was huge too.
Oh, big time.
Oh man, they were pumping that thing up like it was gonna be the next Star Wars. I mean, it was big, and it flopped hard.
Oh, I put the big sales job on the wife to go, and we left after about 20 minutes, and I have yet to live it down. That gets brought up fairly often.
You're like,
you still owe me for Battlefield Earth. I hear that all the time.
It's really good. We should see this. Is it Battlefield Earth good? No.
Don't give her any ideas.
Well, the other one that I had on my list, I won't go in a huge rant on this one, on this podcast. I will just tell people to go listen to Geekvice, either episode 49 or 50, and listen to almost a full hour-long rant on Transformers: Age of Extinction.
Oh, man.
I've heard that rant.
So we'll just leave it at that because everyone here's already heard that. You can pause this show now. Go look up Geekvice. I think it's 49 or 50, right in that range. Go listen to that, and then you can come back, and it'll be like you never missed anything because that fit perfectly right here. And I just cut an hour off of our podcast here.
We'll just call it a radio edit.
I don't get why you don't like that. I mean, the acting alone is, hey, I think it's a Transformer. Is amazing, and the total love relationship between dad and daughter.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
not creepy at all.
Yeah, it's just, oh man.
I'm sorry. I've heard the rant, so I had to poke the bear.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. Or the fact that it's explosion after explosion and there's no actual story. I don't know. Maybe you can't actually classify that as an alien invasion in the sense that there's no plot to know if they're invading Earth or not. So there's that. On with you, Kip.
Hey, man, I don't know if I can live up to that now. But mine was a movie that I actually thankfully did not pay to go see. And it's this 2010 gem called Skyline. It stars Eric Balfour and Donald Faison. And it's an alien invasion movie, I think written by two stoner half stoner, half frat boy guys. One of them, I don't even care which one, is a rich musician, and they live in L.A. And then the aliens come and attack, and I think the script was written in crayon or with the little magnet letters that they put on the fridge.
Oh, gee.
It's pretty bad, and I mean, it had Brittany Daniel in it, and that still wasn't enough to keep my interest.
Here you go. I'm just gonna tell you right now. Skyline on IMDb has a 4.4, so that's actually down near some of the other really bad.
But Battlefield Earth had like a 3.
Well, yeah, it did. But
It should have a negative number.
Let me read the description for Skyline, and then we can make fun of Kip for actually wanting to just go see this.
Hey, it was free.
The thing here says, strange lights descend on the city of Los Angeles, drawing people outside like moths to a flame, where an extraterrestrial force threatens to swallow the entire human population off the face of the earth.
Yes.
If there is an alien ship in the sky with a light coming down, why the fuck am I leaving my house?
So that description, that description reminds me of the Far Side comic where the guy has the flashlight at the frog and he's like, see, it's shining in their eyes. And then his buddy's like staring up into space and then shining in his eyes. And that's where they got the plot.
Yeah,
I think you're right.
That's exactly.
Even the movie poster, if you didn't pay close attention to it like I did not, you didn't realize what was going on. But if you really looked at it, you're like, oh, all those little dots are people being sucked up into the spaceship. Yeah, I should have stayed home that night. But but then I wouldn't have had something for this category other than Battlefield Earth. So
I'm going to throw this out here because I talked to John earlier about it, and he was like, I'm probably not going to make it. And he goes, I feel kind of bad. And I said, why? He goes, well, my worst is going to be like the second week in a row I'm using the same one. I'm using Highlander too. I was like, oh my god, dude.
That's
can't
brilliant.
Highlander 2 for every worst movie ever.
Well, I mean, maybe he can.
He's going to try. He's going to try.
Yeah.
It was that bad.
Well, I got to give him credit. He's consistent.
There you go.
Maybe it's really that he's only seen one movie.
Maybe.
That could
He's
be.
bitter about it because he chose Highlander 2. He must have seen 2 because he saw Highlander 1 and thought, this is the greatest thing that I've ever experienced. And then when saw the second one, went, this is the worst thing I've ever experienced.
Wow. I do have an honorable mention in this category again.
I have your honorable mentions.
Because, not unlike Evolution, this movie is so dumb it's good, and it's called Evil Alien Invaders.
Oh, jeez.
And it's got Dietrich Bader and Tyler Labine, and these aliens come down to invade Earth, and one of them, who's played by Tyler Labine, is a giant on his planet. On Earth, he's an average-sized person, but he spends the entire movie walking and talking like he's a giant. And that alone just cracks me the hell up. Just this guy who's like 5'8", walking around stomping and talking like he's a giant. It's fantastic. So I just had to throw it out there. If you're really drunk or stoned and you want to watch something funny, Evil Alien Invaders.
I will say, I went with the Alien movies, but that's because I go to something else and I go back to but Alien is just, for me, was so visceral, you know? However, I will say, my honorable mention, since we're doing this, and the one I went back and forth with it the most was V. Like the original, the original one, like back in the 80s series. Like, I remember making sure I was home to watch that every time it was on.
Yeah,
because
I
it was a
loved
mini.
that show.
It wasn't like hey, we're gonna watch this for a couple years. This is a miniseries event, and up until that point, all the miniseries stuff was like The Gray and the Blue and Lonesome Dove and stuff my mom watched, right? And I was like, who wants to watch miniseries? Are dumb. They're never good. And then V came out, and seeing Freddy Krueger like rip off his face and have lizard skin, and that when the babies are born and the lizard one dies and the little girl lives, but she's psychotic. Like, it's amazing. It is one of the best shows of my childhood. So
I'm
just
going to have
throwing
to
that
agree
one.
with you. All right. Well, I agree with that little honorable mention as well. So, and
Kip, were you
Morph's
old
too
enough?
young.
Or yeah, that's what I meant. Morph, are you old enough?
I know some of it. Like, I know more of it than I've seen it. Like, I haven't actually seen the original version of it, but I've heard and read a lot about it because when the new one came out, I'm like, well, I want to see what this original one was about before I actually watched the new one, and then I actually wanted to break my TV when I watched the new one because it sucked so bad. So
Yeah.
I never watched the new one. I was like, they're not going to be able to beat the original for me. So
and that was part of the problem. Is like they tried to, I don't know what they did wrong. They just didn't do it right.
Well, V was so good that Men in Black stole some of their ideas for the movie.
Yeah.
That's how good it was.
Yep.
The giant cockroach, right?
Well, that and the Balchinian was stolen. Granted, in V, the TV show was under the armpits, but hey, close enough.
Right. Well, should we move on to games?
Let's do it.
Do it.
Okay. So my best game is, I'm going to say it's a little bit of a cop-out. Because, again, I was trying to find a game for Alien Invasion that I really liked. And I don't have a lot of Alien stuff in my collection. And the problem is, it kind of goes back to that whole Star Wars thing. The space games I have are government battling. They're all different races, but you got lots of them kind of at war with each other or political war with each other or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Right.
What I went with was, back when I was in college, we had a convention that we ran in St. Cloud here called SaintsCon. And there's these guys that came out and they ran events every year. And the one year, we always gave them a side room because you'd go in there and they kind of do their thing. The two guys would run it, and they'd usually have like 4 to 6 players. And they brought us in, and we're running this game, and we're playing Space Marines, right? And we're like, okay, so we got this mission, blah, blah, blah. And you start going in, and you're like, okay, we got to rescue these people. Something's going wrong with the system, and blah, blah, blah. And we're going in, and it turns out to be the whole freaking alien game, right? So
Nice.
it's like you go into it going, oh, this is kind of cool. We're playing Space Marines, whatever. And in the back of your head, you're not even thinking about aliens. Like, you're not even thinking, like, this is the problem. But then when, like, the first one comes at you and someone gets acid sprayed on them, you're like, oh, my God, I know what this is. This is horrible. And you realize how screwed you are, right?
Run away, run away!
And so we're trying to get all the objectives. And we're all, and to the credit of everyone playing, at the start of this, we're all like Marines. Like, you don't leave someone behind. You're dragging people, all that stuff, right? And we get all these colonists onto the ship, and they're going to get the last stuff that we need. And so we've broken up, and me and one of my good friends are on the ship, right, ready to take off, ready to get all these people to safety. Our other people are there, and one of them dies. The other 3 are coming back. The one can't walk, so one of them's dragging him. Right? The aliens are coming behind them. Okay? Now my friend is in the cockpit watching this occur, right? And I'm back with the passengers like, get strapped in, And the guy in front of the Marines, one of the aliens comes out of the floor and gets him, right? Like, ahead of him. And so now you got him getting queued up. You got a guy dragging another Marine, so they're slow, and all this stuff's gaining on him. And my friend Ryan goes, I turn the guns on him and start shooting. And the guy running the game goes, your people are out there. He goes, I don't think we're going to make it. And this is probably safe. I'm getting impregnated, and so he guns them down. at the same time, because there's two guys running this game, by the way. So he's off having this conversation with him. Same time, the other one looks at me and goes, so one of the passengers doesn't look very good. And I'm like, okay. And he goes, he's kind of holding his stomach and leaning over. And he goes, and now another one is. And another. And I'm like, oh, crap. I'm like, I shoot them all. And he goes, what? I was like, if one survives, we're dead. I shoot every passenger. And he's like, are you kidding me? I'm like, no. So at the end of the game, the two of us survive because we killed everybody else. We get done. We leave. We don't tell, because we had a couple friends that were playing it later. We don't tell them anything about it. They go in. They kind of have a similar thing, but they were the, you never leave a Marine behind. You never, I mean, everything. Right. Their whole party gets wiped out. We see these guys later, at, when we're kind of cleaning up and stuff, and we're like, God, your game was amazing. It was so fun. And they're like, you guys played it completely different. Because these guys are Marines. Like, these are what you think Marines are. You guys are scary. Like, you are like, I did the math, and we aren't all coming away with this if we let this happen. So that's probably my favorite alien invasion game ever.
That's cool.
And I know it's a singular RP, but it was so worth it.
Sounds awesome.
I was gonna say that just sounds great. So what do you got over there, Kip?
When you're halfway through it and then you realize what it is and you're in the middle of a structure and you're like, oh crap, this is gonna suck. So, go ahead, Kip.
Yeah, I'm going last. So Kip, go right ahead.
All right. Well, what I made the choice based on the hours of gameplay that I gave to it, and it's old school as old school can be. It's my Atari 2600 Space Invaders game.
I almost went with that.
I played the hell out of that game. Every day before football practice, I was playing that damn game. I'm sure my parents hated it, but I played the shit out of that game. And the beauty of it back then was you don't win a game.
No.
Right. You cannot win an Atari 2600 game. They just gradually get harder until you're done. And I think that's what I liked about that game is no matter how good at it you got, final result is you lose. And I don't know. I just went nuts over that game.
The nice thing about that one, though, is it had different levels you could set it at, though. You could have stationary shields, moving shields, or no shields.
Yeah. Or your ship that you shoot from could be really thin so the aliens can't shoot it, or big and fat so you're a big target.
And that was innovative.
It was.
Especially at that time.
It was, because it was on that fancy switch that you went from high to low.
Right.
Intensity. In fact, I still have my Atari 2600. I should plug that bad boy in and play.
Nice. No, that was on my list as, like, if I just had to pick a game, that was the one I was going to go with. So, good job.
Excellent.
Morph looks like he's looking for his game.
Well, yes, because I own it. I've got a couple of games here, and I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with two.
He's got an honorable mention.
No, well, this isn't even an honorable mention. This is just that they were so close because they're completely different games, but it goes down to the storyline of these games and the way it makes you feel, the strings that it pulls to get you to feel a certain way. That's what works for me, especially when I'm playing a video game, because God knows I don't play board games, and I don't know. Are there Alien Invasion board games?
Of course there are.
Yeah.
I haven't played any of those yet, so I don't have any of those on my list. But what I do have is Mass Effect, which, the first one I played some of, never really got into it, but the second one really hit home with me, and this idea of the Reapers, this alien race that just comes through and wipes out everybody and everything, and it's up to you to put together a group to go out and stop these people. The way they told the story for that game, I just thought was amazing. And I think it was one of the first games that had a competent like duck and cover type situation for a first person shooter. A lot of times they tried to do it and it didn't work well, and I think Mass Effect was one of the first ones to actually get that to work. And they were one of the first ones, I think, to get the whole you've got two other people in your group and you can actually give them orders to flank your opponents while you're playing a single player game. All you're doing is giving tactical orders to the AI, and it actually follows your orders for the most part, as much as the AI can. That's on one side here. The other side over here is the original StarCraft by Blizzard. A lot of people, when you say StarCraft, they just think of the real-time strategy, playing against your opponent, and in that sense, not really alien invasion. I mean, you're on one planet, there's not really an invasion going on. But if you play the single-player campaign on StarCraft, that's where you get this alien invasion feeling, because you have the Zerg are just overwhelming everything. They just come in like a virus, like just this insects that just swarm an entire planet and engulf it and just destroy the whole thing. And you're these simpleton Marines trying to fight your way out. And then the whole Protoss come involved, and these guys are their solution is, well, if we're not going to be able to save the planet once the aliens are there, so we're just going to blow up the planet too. So now you have everybody trying to blow up the planet. So it was one of the first games that I put on my PC back in the day, that I put it on my computer, and I couldn't take it off. I couldn't stop playing. I missed class for it. It was one that got me in probably the most trouble, but it was just because you couldn't put it down. You could play that thing for hours on end. So
I've never played Mass Effect, but I'll agree with you on the other one. I mean, 2 million Koreans can't be wrong.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, I mean, if you're a first-person shooter kind of person, like I know Kip is, he would really enjoy Mass Effect. If you're not wanting to play with other people. Yeah. Because they have an online portion of it, but that's not what that game was made for. That game was made to play a single player campaign and and go through the story and do the side missions that it gives you if you want to just build this story up, because that's the thing of Mass Effect that's really so good.
Is Mass Effect the one where you could play as a woman and have her make out with a female alien?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yep. That's the only thing I know about the game.
Yep.
Sold.
I just sold Kip.
Yep, you can actually hit on, like, you make your character, and then it was one of the first games that had the successful dialogue wheel. It might have even been the first one with multiple selections, and it was like, here's a conversation, they ask you a question, or there's a comment, and then it gives you this dialogue wheel where it's like one option is one type of answer all the way to the other type of answer, from Spectrum, and you can just pick which one you go with. And it actually, I mean, there was times where you would, if you weren't nice to one of the people on your party, I always played as a guy because I find it creepy playing as a girl. It's just weird for me. I don't know. Not a cross-dresser like that, I guess. I don't know. But if there was one point where there's this alien chick that's on your team, and I'm just like, whatever, I don't want anything to do with you. I want to go hit on this other chick over here. And so I just kind of was more rude and curt with her answers. Well, then when I tried to take her into a mission with me, she didn't follow my directions nearly as well. I'm pretty sure she wanted to try to shoot me in the back.
Wow.
So it was whether the AI was actually doing that, or whether it was the AI based off of my decisions or just the AI not doing what it was supposed to do. I don't know, but it made me feel like that, and that's really what, if a story or a video game can pull emotions and feelings out like that, then I feel like it's pretty good. It's top notch to me.
Nice. So worst game. So I this is the one that I said earlier may not fit into the alien invasion, but I'm going with it. This game was horrible. It's considered to be one of the worst games of all times in the video game realms. It is attributed to having Atari having 2 negative profit years in a row.
Yes.
Years later, they dug up a landfill in New Mexico, and it was part of 728,000 cartridges found there. And it was a huge amount of those. It should have never invaded homes. It was worse than actually putting the CGI walkie-talkies in the movie instead of guns. E.T. for the Atari. The worst game ever. And my parents bought it.
I think I still have mine.
And I played it and went, what is this crap? And this is, mind you, after our last week's conversation, where I played Adventure, and I thought this was worse.
Oh, yeah, you fall down in a pit, and you do the exact same move every time to get out, and then, it only works a quarter of the time.
Right.
And you keep falling back down the pit. Then the FBI guy comes and takes you away. It's like,
Right.
All right, I'm now stabby.
Right. So, I mean, it was awful. It was so bad. And I know I've beat it, and I know there are a lot of people that say you can't beat it. I know I beat it.
I know I did too.
And even beating it, I went, this is bad. I had friends that were like, you can't beat that game. And I was like, well, I beat it. And they're like, no. And then I'd show them, and they're like, well, that still sucks. It wasn't.
Yeah, valid. Yeah.
Right. Oh, God, that is the worst alien showing up on Earth game ever.
Agreed.
So
Can't top that at all.
we can go ahead and try, unless that was yours too.
No, mine actually is a stretch, and it's a board game. It's a little bit of a stretch calling an alien invasion, but if you picture yourself trying to defend the Earth while you're in a spaceship, then okay. And I look on Board Game Geek, and a lot of people really like this game. I cannot be considered one of those people, and that is Space Alert. I freaking hate that game. And basically, you play as a crew of a spaceship, and you play cards that tells your action. Move over to another compartment, play a battery, or whatever the hell it is. And it's got this really bad soundtrack that goes along with it, and I freaking just hate that game. That's all I can say. I just hate that game.
I'm not going to disagree with you.
And a friend of mine bought the game, and we tried it out at his house, and I felt really bad when we all got all done. He's like, "You want to play again?" It's like, "No, never, ever again." You wasted whatever amount of money you spent on this game. I'm sorry.
I found that it was kind of one of those games that we got done and we went, did we play that wrong? Did we mess something up? And then we looked through everything and went, huh, no, we didn't. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Yep. And if you just turn off the soundtrack and spend as much time as you want on the steps,
right,
you still feel like you didn't play it right.
Right.
We went in extra slow motion, and still it didn't feel right.
That's brutal.
It's a terrible game. And look on Board Game Geek. It's got a ton of people who love that game. Yeah,
but so here's the thing. I don't attribute anything to Board Game Geek anymore. And I try not to be negative about any games out there towards companies. Munchkin has one of the crappiest ratings, and it sells more copies than any other game out there. So there are people that obviously love that game. Then there are some games that have just ridiculous ratings, and I know nobody that has them.
This is a true statement.
So the information on that site is skewed. It's skewed, and it's definitely skewed towards hardcore Eurogamers.
Yes.
Because if you, I've literally seen reviews. I give this a 1. Oh, dice. What? What do you mean dice? Why would you play it if you know you don't like dice? Why would you play the game? Dice. So
zombie dice. I didn't know there was dice in it.
Right. So to me, that's just kind of, I don't believe that site. I go on there to find out what a game is about, maybe the mechanics of it. But I go off of, do I know anyone that's played it? Do I think it's going to be fun? So
yeah.
But I'm looking forward to hearing more, because I'm sure there's some video game that I didn't know about that's coming out here.
Oh, it's kind of funny that you say that, because when I started looking up video games for Alien Invasion, because I was trying to find a worst, I had a lot of them that I liked. An honorable mention would be Half-Life. But when I started doing this search, I'm like, I didn't realize that this was an Alien Invasion.
Oh.
I didn't actually realize there were aliens in the game. So then I started reading about the game, and I'm like, oh shit. Yeah, the reason I didn't realize there was aliens in the game is because I didn't get far enough along in the game to actually get to the aliens. They don't show up till the end. Title of the game says nothing about aliens. Really? So now I feel like I need to go dig up the copy of this game, and it's called Redneck Rampage.
What?
Yes, exactly. That is exactly my point. Redneck Rampage apparently has aliens in some of the last levels, and that is why the rednecks are actually rampaging, is because they are trying to stop an alien invasion. It is... Hey, I'm just reading what the internet has, and the internet has to be true, right?
Oh, yeah. You can't post anything on there unless it's true.
I agree.
So I have that one on there.
I got some pills coming in the mail that are supposed to do certain things.
So I have that one on my list, but just because of the sheer fact that I had no idea that it actually was an alien invasion game. And I didn't play it long enough to actually give a shit one way or the other. It's not a good game. It was never intended to be a good game. I'm pretty sure that's why they sold it at Walmart for $5 on the end cap. Like, just the case, it's not like it's in a big box or anything. No, it was just the CD case. And,
steal it. Go ahead. We don't care.
Yeah. So
everything else is chained down, but yeah, you can have that one.
Not that one. It sat right next to the disc that had 700 ways to play solitaire.
Nice.
But the other game that I had to put on to a real alien invasion game and put on here, and I put it on here because it was made over and over and over again. And it wasn't really good the first time, but it did kind of break new ground. And then they kept trying to repeat that breaking new ground thing, except they forgot to actually break the ground. And that's Duke Nukem Forever. And I picked Duke Nukem Forever specifically because it's the latest iteration of it, but also because they announced the game was coming out in April of 1997. And that game didn't...
What, 5 years ago?
Didn't actually come out till 2011.
I was right.
It took them that long because they tried to make the game and then realized, you know what, this is exactly like the very first Duke Nukem that we made in 1991. It looks like it and everything. Maybe we should do something different. So then they tried to change it up and they realized, hey, guess what? This is just like every other fucking game out there. This is awful. And they still put it out there. So there you go, everybody. You can go buy Duke Nukem Forever and play the first Duke Nukem game 20 years later.
With better graphics.
No, you don't even get better graphics.
Oh man, they really missed an opportunity.
I think they even kept it on rails.
Yeah.
Because you guys played the first Duke Nukem, right?
Yep.
Yep.
The one where you couldn't actually walk anywhere. You just kind of went.
Right.
Yeah. That was. I'm pretty sure that Duke Nukem Forever was pretty much right in that line too.
Not only is it like playing the original one, and I haven't played it, but I know the guy that voiced the original one voiced this one too.
Yeah, I believe that. I believe that. And just for the record, there is still rumors of a new Duke Nukem game being made. It's been rumored since 2011, so we can look for it in 2031.
I'm sure it came out in 2011. I'm sure a bunch of people went out and bought it because they're like, "Oh, Duke Nukem," before anyone reviewed it.
Oh yeah.
And everyone
Oh yeah.
Oh.
It's bad. It's bad. So there you go. I hit you with two of them. One you'd never heard of, and one that's just a classically bad.
One you wish you'd never heard of.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you guys got anything you want to add to any of those categories?
I got my honorable mentions out of the way.
Yeah.
In that case, that wraps up our encounter with somewhat intelligent life. Next time on Geekfecta, we will be mad to the max with our episode on post-apocalyptic. So take care.
See ya.
See ya.